Come in, I really do. Women's boxing is here and it's here to stay.
Back.
Alright guys, open up for questions. First up over here.
Caroline, normally known as Sweet Caroline. In this build-up, we've had a bit of a different side here. Are we going to continue to see that, or are we still going to have Sweet Caroline?
This is who I am. I know that a lot of people would be surprised about how I was in the build-up to this fight, but the only reason they're surprised is because they don't really know who I am, and that's fine. Like, it's fine, but this is who I am. I'm not faking it. I'm not trying to push anything. I'm being myself. If you know me and you know who Caroline DUBOIS is, then you know that this isn't a surprise. This is me.
Caroline, there was a moment after the knockdown in the next round where you were a bit animated towards Terry. Can you talk us through that? I think the referee had to get involved and just talk me through that and the thought process behind it.
Sorry, no, it was really tricky because she was a lot smarter than I thought she was going to be. She's smart, and she's experienced. She knows how to get through a fight. She knows how to box, and I guess their tactics was to stay away and try and counter. And the annoying thing was I was trying to counter her, and we were both trying to counter each other. That's why the first few rounds were a bit touchy, and when I caught her, I just felt really relieved. Not relieved, but like I knew as soon as I land, I'm going to hurt this person. And I landed and I dropped her, and I just felt like I could have gone for the gears a little bit more, but a few things happened in the lead up to the fight. Today, I woke up with the worst flu I've ever had. I was like, oh my God, of all days, this is happening. But this was a test, and God gave it to me for me to see how strong I was, and I pushed through, and I was able to get the victory.
Did you agree with the scorecards?
What were they?
I believe, off the top of my head, I can't remember, but they were a bit wide tonight, personally.
I won every round. I truly believe I won every. What round would you give her? What was she doing? She was just trying to nick the fight, obviously we were both trying to counter each other. But I was busy, I was busy with the jab, I was busy with my combinations. Yes, I was missing a little bit, but I was pushing the pace, and I genuinely feel like there was not one round you could give her. Maybe one if you feel like we were both, the first few rounds I would say we weren't throwing a lot. And maybe there was a drawish round where there was not a lot happening, not a lot landing, but I truly don't see any argument for her winning more than one round.
Hey Kaz, congratulations, great performance.
Thank you.
You spent some time with Clarissa Shields before and after the fight. What did she say to give you advice and guidance before you went in, if anything? And what did she say in the feedback afterwards, if anything?
Clarissa's a champion. Honestly, she's an amazing woman, and people will try to give her shit because of how she acts and what she says, but she, down, through, she's a good person. She flew all the way out here, obviously for her fight, but she then drove down here and came to support me. She's a champion. I have nothing but love and respect, and it's now time for me to return the favour, and I need to start flying out there for her camps and showing the same love that she's given me. And I think she's a legend. She was giving me nothing but positivity in the lead up to this fight. We were speaking, and after this fight she was giving me some words of advice, like, be more busy and stuff, but there was, like I said, there was a few things. Like waking up today, I was like, no way. Not of all days, you come today. And I was as sick as a pig, but, I pushed it.
Well done.
James.
Caroline, Lakisa was just in before and asked what might be next for you throughout Katie Taylor.
Yeah.
For her potential, or what's looking like your last fight. I take it that's one you would jump at.
It's a difficult one because I've got a lot of time for Katie. I think she's a legend. If she said, Caroline DUBOIS, let's do this, she wants to test herself against me, I would jump at the opportunity. Who wouldn't? Who honestly would say no to Katie Taylor? She's a legend. It would be an honor to step into the ring with her. But I'm not really fussed about that fight. The fight I'm interested in, that I'm sure all of you think I know what I'm interested in, is ALYCIA, the BAUMGARDNER, and I think we'll be able to see who truly is the best. And I believe it's me. That's the fight I want. By the end of the year, there's no need to waste time. There's no need to mess around. Let's make it happen. The best versus the best with 5 pounds difference. She's older than me. She's more experienced than me. Let's see. That's the fight I want. That's the fight I want.
Is that the fight you would take over, say, another unification bout or
I would take it over unification bout. I know she's going to run a mile from this fight. I believe she's already spoken to Nikisa and said, I don't want that fight. She's going to try and run and slip and slide her way out that fight. And if she wants to say, you know, I can do more, then I'll have another unification. I'll go after the Turk, and then we can have it. By the end of this year, we need to make that fight happen. The biggest fight in women's boxing, I want that fight. I want ALYCIA. I want her next.
Caroline, congratulations tonight. It's funny, obviously, you're speaking about ALYCIA BAUMGARDNER. She has been on Twitter today, clowning the performance, the fact you didn't get a stoppage, she got the stoppage.
Yeah, she's a drug cheat. I have never in my life failed a drugs test, you know, and it wasn't just a light little weight loss drug, a light little, you know, any of that. It was a serious muscle performance enhancing developing drug, and you can say what you want, but look at ALYCIA post failing that drug and pre-failing. She was explosive, she was powerful, she was dangerous. Then what happened? She failed that drug test and she hasn't looked the same since. She can say what she wants. I have never failed a drug test in my life and I never will. I'm not a drug cheat. I don't need drugs. I don't need performance enhancing drugs to be confident in the ring. I stepped into that ring 100% authentically natural. You know, she can't say the same. She cannot say the same. She can say what she wants, but she's failed a drug test for a reason. She is a fucking cheat.
Also, outside of that, sorry, I saw you on a female podcast a little while back saying that, you know, you're finding it a little bit more tricky to start to make the 135. You only really want to do it for the big fights. If you can't get ALYCIA BAUMGARDNER in the ring next, are you still planning to stick around or are you looking to move up?
No, there's still some interesting fights for me. I want to fight the Turkish girl. She's an interesting fight. She's an exciting fight. People are saying she's going to beat me, so I would love that fight. I know there's Stephanie Hahn hanging about. We'll have to see. Honestly, I'm someone who wants to go after the biggest fights, the most exciting fights. And yeah, I always want to be involved in the biggest, the most exciting fights, the most exciting nights. Today we did really amazing, and I think everyone showed up and everyone loved the fight. Like I could hear the crowd going, and I was going, and that's what I want. You know, win, lose, draw. I always want to be entertained, and I always want to go out there and do my best. And I feel like the only way you can bring out the best fights is when you fight the best people. I will always chase the biggest fights.
Question for Mike. Has ALYCIA BAUMGARDNER expressed an interest in the fight of Caroline?
Look, it's something we've talked about internally and with ALYCIA and her team. Obviously, she's got a tough fight in 2 weeks in our first MVPW show in the United States. So, look, I don't think it's by accident that they're kind of synced from a calendar perspective, but you know, it has to make sense for everybody.
Here in front.
Caroline, congratulations. There was a stat that came out in the news a couple of weeks ago that says women's participation and interest in sport has increased over 40%. How important do you think having nights like this showcasing women's talents, not just in boxing, is good for the UK being accessible on Sky Sports as well?
No, one thing I'm so happy about, when this fight was made and I found out that it was going to be on Sky Sports, I was just like, yes. You know, I started my career with Sky Sports, and one thing I know as the truth is that Sky Sports have always been a massive push of women's sports, not just boxing, but sports throughout. They do the football, they do the boxing, they do the rugby, they do everything, and it's part of their pillars, their philosophy is to push sport, and by pushing sports, they push women's sports. So tonight we did a really good show, a really good showing of women's athletic prowess, and I think we really put it all on the line today. Every single last one of them, we really went out there and showed out, and I'm so proud to be a part of that. You know, I headlined the show, but it wouldn't have been a show without those that were fighting on the undercard. Like, I wouldn't have been able to do this on my own. And yeah, the crowd turned out, and Sky Sports, you know, they pushed it. They pushed the show, and I'm so happy and so thankful and so proud that Sky Sports have always been a massive advocate behind women's sports.
Caroline, are you planning on being ringside for this year's fight?
Listen, I feel like that's a conversation for Leonardi, Nikisa. I have a feeling she'd be terrified to see me. You know, I love to be ringside. We can talk that fight up. You know, she's full of shit. You know, she absolutely is full of shit. All I can say about that fight is I know I will take her out. You know, there's no way. There is absolutely nothing she can do. Me and her, we're tailor-made for each other. People say she hits hard, and I know I hit hard. I would love that fight. I think it will be the most exciting fight in women's boxing. It's a fight that makes the most sense, and we need to make it happen by the end of this year.
Just over here.
I would just add that you're welcome at all of our events ringside. So.
Thank you. Well, I'm feeling she'll be begging and crying, saying, "Do not bring that girl here."
How privileged was it to fight you, especially a few miles up the road? You spent your amateur career at Gary.
Yep. No, it was a blessing. You know, I came out the ring and I saw Gary McGuinness. He's the first, I guess, coach that recognized me and accepted me as a female into the gym. And yeah, it was really amazing seeing him. He was my coach in my first ever amateur fight, and he's here supporting me. And yeah, I'm really proud to have that support and to have, you know, my coach, my team, and everyone around me come and support my fights.
Hi Caroline, well done, champ.
Thank you.
Lots of movement from Terry in the early rounds.
Yeah.
She wasn't making pay when she was making
No.
this.
Yeah, but that was because of my head movement. You know, I was slipping and sliding a lot of the punches, and she was I knew from the first round and how she was going about the first round, she was trying to counter me, and obviously I was like, okay, she's trying to counter me, so make her miss, like make her nervous. And Shane was telling me, put pressure on her, not necessarily with your hand, but with your intentions, your feet, step to her, like make her feel the pressure. I tried to do that. Could have definitely done it a bit more, but yeah.
The feet stopped moving at some point, or was it the body shots?
Whose?
Terry's. You slowed the movement down. Was it the body shots that you slowed her down?
Body and head, I think the head shots hurt her more. I feel like I could have gone down to the body a lot more. I could have done a lot more, but it's improvement. The thing is, what people I guess don't understand is we're thrown into these high-level fights so soon in our career. I've had 13 fights. A guy, if he's had 13 fights, he's still fighting, you know, that level of opponents. We're world-class level opponents at 13 fights. So a lot of our learning happens in the ring, and that's why I guess you see that tentativity. And you know, I've only been in the ring 13 times. Like I'm still figuring out how to navigate the rounds, how to navigate the pressure and all that stuff. But I think I did okay today.
You're doing all right.
Thank you.
Caroline, congratulations, you look great in there. Obviously you had a very hurt in there. Were you just put in not to stop her?
I was and I wasn't. Like I said, there was a few things in the lead up to this fight. Waking up today, not feeling 100%. I've been walking around with a cold towel on my head, wrapped around my neck. I've got it on now. Like I was feeling not the best. And I was just telling myself, like, pace this fight. Like, you don't feel 100%. So don't go out there all guns blazing and not perform. So I know if I pushed the fight and pressed the fight, I could have taken her out, but it was experience, and I'll give her credit. She was very smart. She was trying to be smart as she could today, and she was able to navigate herself and get herself out of danger a lot. So you know, her foot movement was good. Her distance control was okay. She did okay.
Caroline, congratulations. Obviously, Alicia's next fight is against a former opponent of yourself. Do you expect BAUMGARDNER to cause Alicia any problems?
I think she's gonna fuck her up. You know, she's gonna give us some serious problems. And listen, I'm not saying this because I want ALYCIA to lose the fight. I want ALYCIA to win. I want her to look amazing. I would love for her to go out there and knock her out, but I don't see that happening. I think it's going to be a really hard fight, and I know she did not want that fight. She wanted Tiara Brown, who's a super featherweight. Tells you everything about her. You know, she is not about that life. She's not as gangster as she likes to make out to be. She wants to go after the lightest girls, the smallest girls. You know, I saw an interview and she called out Tiara Brown. Super featherweight. That tells you what type of time she's on. She's not about that life. She is not built for this shit.
BAUMGARDNER is a heck of a challenger.
She's got a big head too.
It's gonna be an excellent fight.
She's got a big head. You know, when I was fighting, I was like, my God. It was like a TV. It was a television. It was like built like a truck. I was like, no way. You know, first time in my life I've ever hurt my hand was on her head. Yeah.
In the back.
Hi Caroline, congratulations. Look, the conversation obviously of ALYCIA has been brewing since Miami. Like both each other, thank you so much. Both each other calling each other out during that fight week as well. Everyone wants to see it, people want to see it, but like you said, she's kind of hiding away from it. If you could say something directly to ALYCIA right now, just call her out, call this fight, what would you say to her?
Let's make this fight happen. If you're built for this, if you really are gangsters, you like to act like you are, if you're really that girl, that bad bitch that she likes to say that she is, then let's make this fight. Let's find out. You know, the best versus the best. 135 versus 130. let's make it happen, you know. You say you're that girl, she fought as heavy as 140. She's been in the ring with all the best fighters, so let's do this, you know, let's make the biggest fight in women's boxing, you know, the Bomb versus me.
So I have a question. ALYCIA aside, I think you know Ellie became the youngest undisputed champion from Britain ever.
Yeah.
You're 25. Is that something? And you missed this because you weren't in here yet. Nikisa laid out the new rule that if you become the youngest undisputed champion
He's gonna buy me a car?
in your country, you get a new car.
Hey, I'll take that. My car burned down, so I need a new one.
So is that a new goal?
Yeah, 100%. You know, like I said, my car literally burned down, so I'll be needing a new one. Yeah, I love that. I love that. Yeah, I'll hold him up to that. Obviously, it's going to be tricky to make the fights. I think it could be potentially quite tricky, but if we can make the fights as quickly as we can, I would love to try and go for undisputed this year, or be involved in the biggest fight in women's boxing.
Give it up, Caroline Dubois.